What's up, people? I'm IGP, and welcome back to Subnautica. Today, we're going to finally get back to talking about updates. Now, before you get too excited, just know that there hasn't been any major content updates to the game since the Cutefish, and there probably won't be any until the game is released. Of course, that could change at any point, but the updates that we're going to be covering today are smaller updates, or things that have been changed or added to the game since the last time that we've looked at it. Now, of course, many of you avid Subnautica players may already know about all of these changes, and this may not be news or updates to you, but it is to me, and it's still relatively new. Now, before we get into this, I want to make a quick announcement about the IGParadise. If you guys have seen the video about the new IGParadise base building, you might remember me saying that I was going to pick the top comment that has the best base and build it into the IGParadise and just continue adding to that. There are many complications with this, and it comes down to the point where I have to make some adjustments. That's going to basically change the whole structure of that. Now, I'm not going to be talking about this right now. I'll talk about it at the end of this episode. So for those who have submitted their ideas via comments in that last episode, just stay tuned until the end, or you can skip ahead if you'd like to get more detailed information regarding that. Anyway, let's talk about some updates. So one of the things I wanted to talk about first, just to kind of get it out of the way, because I know everybody is asking everyone and their mothers about the updates on this, and that's the Neptune escape rocket. Yes, it is being developed. It is not in-game. You cannot spawn it. You cannot build it. It is not available, and I don't believe it ever will be available until the game is fully released, again set in January. The Trello page has all the information you could ever want in regards to details about the Neptune escape rocket and the entire event itself. I mean, it even goes into visual detail, telling you what you might see in the ending. So, you know, spoilers, obviously. But yes, the rocket is being developed. Don't you guys worry. It's, I believe, in its polished stage right now. It's done. It's just going to get a lot of fine-tuning at this point. So now that that's out of the way, let's start with the basics. Something we mentioned in the last episode that's been updated and is pretty awesome is the field of view. Now, if you've been playing Subnautica for more than just 5 minutes, you'll notice a kind of an issue with how the game looks. The very large-scale monsters, environments, the things that we've come in contact with don't really seem all that big, at least as it should be, to instill the fears that I imagine the developers want us to have. So what's great about it now is we have an option to change that. With the field of view slider, currently it's set at 60. That is the default, which is strangely low. I'm not sure why this was chosen, but it is quite low. I tend to play games around 75 to 90. 90 is actually the max you can go, and as you can see, it doesn't just make things, you know, zoom in and out. It kind of seems like that's what it is on a still frame, but if we really look, let's go back to 60 and let me show you a good comparison here. So I have all the Leviathan, Jesus Christ, I have all the Leviathans standing right here, and they look big. Obviously, we know they're big, but if you really were to put a player size next to them, they'd be much larger. So now I'm going to switch over to, let's say, about 75, the base of what I usually play at. Now you kind of get a much better... Is this guy dead? Whoa. Okay, that is very creepy. I'd wish you'd move. These guys look much bigger, and if we up it to 90, they look even bigger, but at this point, it kind of looks VR-ish, maybe a little fisheye. I actually kind of like it. I really like the way this looks, but you can just see the size of everything. It's actually quite magnificent. It does kind of shrink. Like my seagull eye looks skinny as hell. But if you want to experience it like this, I highly recommend you change it at least to something like 70 or higher. So another update I want to talk about, which is extremely sad. It's incredibly emotional, and I'm warning you, it's terrible, okay? And it's regarding this cute little guy with the Cutefish, or the Cutefish as it's called now. And we all know it has a certain set of animations that you can cycle through just by left-clicking when you're near it. However, it is said in the Trello that once the stage 3 of the rocket is complete, it'll change from you being able to play with the Cutefish to saying goodbye to the Cutefish, and there will be a special animation, which unfortunately I don't have access to at the moment, but there will be a special animation where you get to say goodbye to your cute fish pet. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not looking forward to that. As evil as I may be, as many baby emperors as I've killed, as many times as I've tried to get this guy killed, I don't think I have the heart to say goodbye to it. I might just leave the planet without saying anything. So the next bit of update is the scanner room. There has been a change to the UI. So here it is. There's not much change regarding the structure of it. It's mostly the interface here. It's a little more organized and concise. We have 3 pages of stuff, actually. We can find creatures, stalker teeth, wrecks, creature eggs, fragments, heat areas, all these different types of things in the scanner room. When we scan for something, let's say we're looking for a heat area, it doesn't actually show anything. So the next small update is inside the gun, we can actually find a relic. This gun. Now, I'm not sure if it was actually moved from the primary containment facility and put here, or if there's another one. That would be pretty cool if there was. Still scannable too. Wow, I look super skinny with this field of view, man. Oh wow, there's another one up here too. Look at that. That's a little creepy. So one of the biggest changes as far as content goes is regarding the extra Degasi bases or foundations for what I guess and can only assume to be premature bases. I mean, hell, they could even be like breadcrumb style bases, and you'll see what I mean when we get here. You can kind of see it from here. But there are different bases inside of the Jelly Shroom Caves, indicating that they had set up multiple locations for storage or something. Now, I'd imagine that there'd be PDA text laying here, and I believe the Trello is hinting at the idea that they're going to have PDAs just lined up following this entire way, so that way you don't get lost and you end up finding the true Degasi base inside this biome. So this one leads straight up over here. There's a clear-cut path going straight out. And we got a nice little container here with a first aid kit, but nothing else on the inside, just broken pieces and a foundation. So it looks like it's either a failed base that they had to move even deeper and deeper, or that they just set up shop multiple times to help navigate. And from there, it goes over here to another little outpost overlooking the hotspots. And of course, right next to a hostile enemy. That's great. Cutefish follows me this entire time. That's crazy. So there's nothing absolutely special about any of this. Nothing scannable at all. Just here for decoration at the moment. Now, it also says on the Trello that there will be new PDAs added to the game. I'm assuming fine-tuning the Degasi story between all the different logs. But what's really cool is that they're going to be adding voice actors. In fact, I believe they already have recordings of the actors. It's just not hooked up in-game. One of the developers said it could be up to 8 different voice actors doing different parts of the game that still need to be done. I believe there's going to be a voice in the release trailer. I'm not sure. But there will be up to 8, and including Neebs Gaming, which is awesome because we just got in another game, Bendy and the Ink Machine, Jacksepticeye to be voicing a character in that. Now we're going to have Neebs Gaming doing it as well. I'll link in the description below so you guys can check out Neebs Gaming if you don't know that channel. But they have a Subnautica series, which is pretty damn entertaining if I do say so myself. Hell, I wouldn't mind voicing something in Subnautica. It'd be fun. Now, this next small update, I actually can't confirm whether or not it was fully in-game, but it's been talked about for quite some time. And it finally does happen in-game by either entering into the disease research facility or waiting 5 days after the Sunbeam event. After some time, you'll get access to this that says, before they lost communications, Altair HQ uploaded a set of blueprints to the Aurora's main computer. There is a high-security terminal inside the captain's quarters located behind the Prawn Bay, from which the blueprints should be accessible. The code is 2679. Now, the last update that I actually want to show you guys is regarding the Sea Emperor Juveniles. As you can see, they've been fully updated with animations, movements, the whole 9 yards. I believe the updated texture too. Actually, let me take a look at that. Oh yeah, absolutely. Look at the detail on this. Looks damn good. It's a little wonky, but it is in-game. I actually have no idea how long it's been in-game. But you can actually spawn one in. You don't have to go through the whole story. It's just spawn Sea Emperor Juvenile altogether. But sometimes they do movements like they're doing tricks or they're very playful. Because again, this is very soon after the babies have hatched, that for some reason they're able to grow this big in a very short period of time. It's amazing. They do look good. Everything is smooth and fluid. So that's all the updates that I want to show you guys visually, but let's talk about one of the most important things. In fact, the latest updates, not the one for the cuttlefish, but the one that was posted as the minor update. It's not minor at all, if you really want to break it down. One of the issues in the past has been building larger bases tends to slow the game down to a screeching halt after a certain period of time. But while I was building my insane base going all the way down to the void, I had a ton of pieces, and it eventually got so bad that I couldn't play it anymore. Upon hearing this, the devs requested to see my game, so I packed it up into an archive, sent it over to them. They looked at it and figured out what was wrong. There was actually a problem, they said, with the power transmitters that was causing an intense amount of lag. They figured out what it was, updated Subnautica, and I tried it out, and it was an incredible performance boost. At the time, I was only getting 13 frames per second with my current setup, after I was getting about 120 frames per second. It was a massive improvement, and things like these are happening underneath the hood every single day. Now, as I said, a lot of these updates may have already been covered. You may be fully aware of most of these. But keep in mind that Trello is being updated constantly. If you guys want to have real-time access to what's going on, you guys can check that out. It's in the description below. So now I want to talk regarding the IGParadise, the reboot of the IGParadise. So let me first start off by saying that I apologize. I was a little bit premature with making that video and having this insane idea of building it again. When it comes down to it, it became an extreme process. Really, it takes away from the idea of you guys being creative with it, because it was set for me to build and guess what you're meaning from a simple comment. There's just no way that that can work reliably. I'm bound to miss things. I'm bound to not get things right, and I could set up for disappointment. So instead, for a win-win situation, I've decided to change up how I'm going to do this. The IGParadise is still going to be a thing. There's just going to be some rules, and I'm going to give the creativity and the work back to you guys, which sounds like a lot, but just hear me out. So instead of you guys giving me ideas and actual base descriptions and then me following through and building them, we're going to have you build them and give your story as to what it is, similar to what I've done in the past on the IGParadise Discord server, which if you guys haven't joined, that link will be in the description below as well. And I'll also have a channel dedicated to what I'm talking about right now, so you can refer to it if you want to build something for the IGParadise. But back when I did the Subnautica base building competition, people got super creative, made some bases, sent them to me, gave me a story if they had one, and I looked at them on stream. We saw some really insanely creative things. You guys are nuts, and I really want to navigate that creativity over to the IGParadise. Now, I've been hashing over with Icy Caress, because he's handled stuff like this in the past, of what the best way of going about this is. And we came up with some good ideas. So what I'm going to do for the IGParadise is I'm going to tell you guys what biome I want the next base to be built in. For instance, the first base I want to add to the IGParadise, I want it to be in the kelp forest. So from this point, you are free to build a base that is as creative as you possibly can get. And when you are done building, you can then upload it to Google Drive. There are definitely ways you can get it to us, but there will be requirements on your submission. Obviously, you need to send the files correctly, but you also need to include a screenshot. And I want the screenshot to look something like this, because there are likely to be quite a few submissions. This is how we are going to scan over them in a efficient amount of time. When you are finished with your base, you can get into a very good angle and take a snapshot with F11. Now make sure that the screenshot that you get with F11 is something that you feel like would convince me this is an awesome base. You will then build a picture frame inside of your base or somewhere where you can take a screenshot of it from your desktop and upload that picture from the screenshots that's been saved by pressing F11. Below it, I want you to build a sign with your name on it that corresponds with your submission name. This all has to happen in order for you to even be considered to look at. And I know that sounds very firm, but it is, because people make mistakes and it makes it harder for us to scan through everything. So what I'm going to be looking at is an example like this, where I see the base. Mine is that little thing right there. and the IGParadise underneath so I can verify that this is in fact your base. And then what we're going to do is then take a look at your text file that you will also be submitting with it. You will be required to submit this. This is going to be the story aspect. As I mentioned in the previous video, I do want this to tie into the story somehow. I want there to be a reason why this base would be here if it actually was in-game. There needs to be a tie-in with the story. So if your screenshot is intriguing enough, that will then send us over to look at your text file, and if the story is amazing as well, I will feature your base and story in the IGParadise series. Now, these will be happening every single week, give or take the holidays. I know they're coming up. But again, starting from this video, it would be perfect to give a whole week until next Monday for you guys to make an awesome base. So I will be doing 5 bases for each episode, and I will go through the base, the story, and I will leave it up to the viewers in the comment section to let me know which one they enjoyed the most. The one that has the most results and the most praise will be added to the IGParadise in that specific biome. And the way that's going to work is I am going to manually replicate your base into the IGParadise for me to then upload eventually after it's all complete. And of course, if yours didn't get chosen for the kelp forest, hopefully you got some inspiration from the ones that were picked, and then you can make one for the next biome that I choose, which will be announced at the end of that video in a week from now. Now, of course, it's me, so it might not be on schedule every single time, but I will do my best to make sure that this works. And we'll also figure out some prizes to go out to the people who get picked. Maybe an IGP hull plate, who knows? I still have a ton of codes for those, if you guys want them. It sounds egotistical, but maybe some people want them, I don't know. So again, I know that was a bit sloppy of an explanation, but I will be referring to this part of the video in the text channel on the IGParadise. Again, link is in the description below. You can refer to this, and I'll have everything written out for you and examples so you guys can submit your base. So that is going to do it for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know in the comment section below what you would like to see in the next episode. Subscribe if you haven't already to keep up to date with all my latest videos. I love you all, and I will see you guys in the next one.